like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So I'm doing a bunch of videos right now to get content going this week, because I'm going to be offline for a lot this week, which is good, because it means I'm getting back to things that I've been wanting to get to for a long bloody time. So I was doing reviews of all the Doctor Who graphic novels. And then I hit Cold Day in Hell, which is the first Sylvester McCoy one, and that kind of like scratched me up, because it's not the best of the Sylvester McCoy run, and it's significantly worse than the Colin Baker one I did before. It's a significant drop in quality. I think this is still a recommend. I mean, listen, it depends. It depends how much of a Doctor Who fan you are, but and a comic book fan you are. This is still a recommend. I'm going to go through it with you, give you my thoughts. It's interesting actually, because I read it, as it came out at the time. I didn't. So going back to it again. I try and reevaluate, because, I'm 30 years older. So, maybe I've changed. I would like to hope so. My outlook of it has changed. Definitely on this book, certainly has changed. So fine, before we get into it, can you hit the like button? Thank you very much. Can you hit the share button? Thank you very much, even more. Like, share. Can you hit the subscribe button? That'll be fan-dabby double dozy. I am pathetically grateful for everybody. I am. I really, really am. I'm totally telling the truth. Like, share, subscribe. If you're subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. Comment, and it's going to take me a while to get back to everybody's comments. I'm going to be offline, as I said, a couple of days, and there's just a lot to get to. So I do apologize. Give me about a week, okay? I hope to get it done quicker, but give me about a week to get back to you. But please do comment. Let me know what you think, because that's kind of the point of social media, isn't it? And even if you wildly disagree with me, that's groovy too. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Go check out my Indiegogo. This is coming offline anytime now. It's going to print shortly. Order 2 awesome comic books. You got this one, Biblical Bible Stories, Atheists, Traitors, Rationalists, and Rogues. It is 240 pages long. It is very biblically accurate, and it's not preachy, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. It's just kind of like just a good story, basically. I wrote and drew this one, and I am proud of punch of it, because you know why? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And there's this book, The Imperium, a love letter to telefantasy of the 1960s. I did the writing on this one. And the lettering, basically, and Dominic Ratchet did the art. Oh man, does he do a good job in the art? There's this new thing called Substack, which once this is fulfilled, I'm launching a Substack, which is basically a way to get digital comics delivered to your email. It's kind of a new culture of doing it. So if I can monetize that, if I can build that list up to about 3,000, I am so doing a monthly book with him. This is freaking. His work is awesome. He did all the extras. He did this poster. Noble Savages. He did the for the Male Gaze cards. Hello Perry, how you doing? See, listen, I hate to tell you, I do think his Perry is better than the one that we saw here. You get posters, and by the way, look at that Capaldi. I freaking love this Capaldi poster. I'm so excited to get it. So if you can get both books, you get all this stuff. You get. I'm going to give you an extra poster as well. Just let me know which one you want. Hopefully, I'm going to get to that update today on the Indigo. And today is probably in the past, right? Because as I said, I'm recording this stuff way back in the dim mist of time on Sunday. I'm probably offline now. And if any major event has happened in the world, you enjoy knowing it, because I don't. You are. This is kind of like a time travel thing. So like, share, subscribe, comment, go check out my Indiegogo. Thank you very much. Fine. So let's have a look at this comic. A Cold Day in Hell. A Cold Day in Hell. So what was going on at this point is Doctor Who, much like right now, right? Doctor Who's popularity had waned and gone down quite low. So I think the magazine sales had gone down low. And John Ridgway was an expensive artist. He was the go-to artist, and he's fantastic. He's really my era of Doctor Who comics. Just a fantastic artist. He was too expensive, and the comic strip was getting out of control. That they couldn't afford to do it. John Freeman came in, the editor, who is smart guy, good head on his shoulders. And basically cut the budget for the comic strip so it remained viable, and it shows. And it really does show. I hate to say it. Also, this was from before Sylvester McCoy's first appearance on TV. I'm just doing reviews right now, season 24, so this really segs nicely into that. Season 24 is the Blu-ray set they brought out recently. So they didn't really know what they're doing with Doctor Who at the time. You can really tell. I mean, I'm right now. The review I just recorded was Delta and the Bannerman, the third story, where they were learning on the job, and it showed, and it didn't work. Right, so things were going in all different directions. Basically, what they settled down in for this book is making the Doctor a man in a TARDIS wandering throughout time and space, wandering into stuff. Right, that's essentially what it is. So let's look at the stories in this volume. So we got a nice bit of cover art there. Who did that? It's Mike Collins, very good. Mike Collins and David Roach. They're normally a solid combination. So so we have A Cold Day in Hell. Let's just go through the actual books there. By the way, nice introduction over here by Richard Starkins. It puts it nicely into context. And you get like a nice piece of art with it. Who did this art as well? Does it say there? This feels like Lee Sullivan to me, right? Do they say who it is? Opposite page, sample artwork provided by Lee Sullivan before starting work on Doctor Who. That's interesting. So this was his audition piece to work on Doctor Who. Interesting, because this is the book where Lee Sullivan writes. But again, I'm going to tell you, we're going to show you why I think the quality dipped a bit over here. This is a John Ridgway page. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I love everything John Ridgway does. So the book starts off with the Doctor with Frobisher. Frobisher is a shapeshifter, a gumshoe who sometimes gets stuck in the form of a penguin, sometimes just likes being a penguin. It changes, and I really can't remember where they are right now. So they go to this like holiday planet and find it very, very cold. They get so this must be from the publicity still when from Time the Rani when Sylvester McCoy is choosing his new costume. And at 1 minute you have Patrick Troughton's big furry coat on it. It opens up and he's got his costume on. So I think this is probably a callback to that. There's a new companion they introduce here. Badly, right? They say badly and not for long, right? And not for long. She's a heat vampire, and then they find the miscreants, the baddies of the story, the Ice Warriors. Again, look at this Ice Warrior artwork, John Ridgway, just knocking it out the park, right? Absolutely out the park. So then again, this is kind of a generic Seventh Doctor story. In that it doesn't feel like a Seventh Doctor story. It feels more like a Second Doctor story. But at least, wait, who wrote this one again? Because at least it feels like a Doctor, right? Simon Furman, because his other story he wrote in his thing is not good, right? At least it feels like a Doctor. I think it must, look at that. I think it must be John Ridgway's artwork selling it, right? So there's basically, he has a bit of an interrogation with the Ice Lord. This is before they worked out, the Sylvester McCoy talking people to death persona. Gee, I should try that. Talking people to death. But again, it's just I really love the whole Ice Warrior thing. There's a bit here. I think one of them gets a pickaxe in their back or something. Where is it? It's and it just really works because you feel like you feel like they're like reptilian. But again, John Ridgway. Have I mentioned I like his work? He's pretty good. He's pretty good. Here it is. Yeah, I love this page over here with the Ice Warriors attacking with a pickaxe in his back. It just feels very Ice Warrior-y to me, right? It feels very organic to that monster. And it's a 4-part. I thought it was a 3-part story. So in the end, Frobisher decides to stay behind on this world. He ends up getting rid of the bad guy by tricking him into letting the shades down. And again, just a great piece of visual storytelling here, where he's like burning to death and with his last breath trying to kill the Doctor, but not succeeding. Just a good story. So weird. Frobisher stays behind, and the heat vampire goes off with him for one story, and then the heat vampire turns out not to be a goodie. So you see who did the artwork over here. See a significant drop. So Kev Hopkins and Tim Perkins, and again, I don't want to diss these people. You know, it's professional work. It's just which there isn't throughout the book. Um, it's just like, you know, you're right next to John Ridgway. So then he's hanging out with this new companion, and essentially they ride her out as quickly as humanly possible in with mediocre artwork. Okay, so that's that. I think it's a kind of, you know, a fair way of describing it. What's this one? Cross Time. So this is a stupid story. They wanted to bring this massive character. Oh, I say physically massive. Wasn't that massive into the greater Marvel universe? Again, the rules of Doctor Who or the branding didn't really matter at this time because Doctor Who was kind of in disarray. It was just like, I don't know, we can do anything, right? So they used him to go up against this guy called Death's Head. Nice artwork though. This artwork I quite like. Is this Mike McCon? Who did this one? Jess Senior. Okay, I never heard him. He's pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Let me just go back to it. Where is it? Over here somewhere. Yeah. So I don't know. This is not bad. So it's the Doctor versus this thing called Death's Head, and you can see like the size difference. So basically, they want to bring Death's Head into the wider Marvel universe, and so they have a battle, and he ends up using the Master's tissue compression eliminator, which just makes him normal size, right? So basically, he can go off and be in the Marvel universe, and then, yeah, that's essentially the whole point of the story. Next story, Claws of Clathy. This wasn't bad for the time, which was late 80s. It was a kind of cool steampunk story. Essentially, there was a freak show of aliens, and they got bad guys there who are pretending to be good, and they're stealing stuff to escape, but to really take over the world. And this is all, it's like in the 18th century. So you got a nice bit of steampunkiness going here. Artwork still is you're feeling the loss of John Ridgway in a big way, right? Yeah. So again, but the whole thing has quite a nice steampunk feel to it. Not a bad story in of itself. It's this one actually feels like it's Doctor Who. You feel like the character is somewhat the Doctor. Although again, you know, the real vibe of this is, if you read those Star Wars comics after they did their first they were talking in '77, after they did that first adaptation of the first Star Wars movie, then they went after Empire. Then after that, after like 6 issues, they went off and just made up their own stuff. So you had a totally different Jabba the Hutt and everything. Everything was different and weird. So this is what this feels like. This is like an alternate dimension, Seventh Doctor. And it just feels a bit generic. That's the thing. But again, the story, I like the steampunkiness of it. It really carries it through. Not bad. So I think this is one of the better was it collections. By the way, I want to point out something else that annoys the crap out of me. The logo, for God's sake, they were doing so good. They had the classic logo and they had the modern logo. They got rid of it, this one, and it forever rankles me. Like, really? Can you can you not just tailor things to your client base, which wants logos to match each other? Fine. So let's get to the next story. Okay, so this next story, this is a really interesting one by Grant Morrison, who's a very, very good writer, and Brian Hitch. One of his first strips ever, Brian Hitch went on to do a lot of he did this book called The Ultimates, which was beautiful, and it was basically the template for the MCU. He didn't actually design the modern Iron Man costume, the Robert Downey Jr. one, but he inspired it. And he went on. He did the design work for the initial Russell T Davies Cybermen. Really good. So he's not there yet, right? This is him. One of his first pieces, and it's a clever story. It is a very, very clever story, which I like a lot. The Doctor is like an aimless traveler, and he finds this like dying animal. And he makes contact with the antibodies or that are being wiped out by this disease, and so you have this whole massive war going on on a microscopic level, and it's really, really cool. And and the Doctor basically goes and saves him. It's just like this cute little Doctor Who story, which I really do enjoy. Keepsake, this next one is very badly written. Okay, very badly written. Art by John Higgins, no more for Judge Dredd. He did the colors on Watchmen. I've read this several times yesterday to try and work out how we know this person's called Keepsake or the ship's called Keepsake. He couldn't maintain my imagination my interest long enough to really work it out. Doctor turns up, not acting like the Doctor, gets caught in trying to get to a distress thing, gets caught by the ship, and then he teams up with the guy who's a bit of a rogue to save the person. This bird he keeps around because it looks like his ex-wife. Okay, whatever. There's just a lot going on there. It doesn't really make any sense, and I don't really understand. And so they go and they terrify these primitive natives with explosives so they can rescue the person who we really know nothing about. But the rescue goes so well that we've never heard anything about before. And it's a woman, and she's like, "Okay, now I'm going to shag you and live with you forever." I think, and the person's not happy about that. It's just weird. So next strip is quite an important one. It's Lee Sullivan's first one. Lee Sullivan went on to, I think, be one of the defining artistic faces of the Seventh Doctor. I never really liked him that much, to be honest. I feel he's a little bit too cartoony. The heads are too big. He's not bad at pulling together a likeness, which is basically what he has to do here. But again, you see it's all a little bit cartoony. He finds this planet, and there's Adric there, and Perry, and Jamie, and Sarah Kingdom, and Katrina, and it's called Planet of the Dead, I think. Yeah, Planet of the Dead. And he's trying to work out what's going on. Frobisher turns back up, and surprise, there are really these monsters who are shape-shifting as things from his enemy. But again, this is popular. This is not for me. It's not for me. It just feels, it feels too photorealistic to be cartoony, and too cartoony to be photorealistic. It's somewhere between the two. So then, next thing, he escapes in the second part, and he meets up with all his other selves, which is kind of fun. This must have been the anniversary story, as I recall. Likenesses, you can all tell who everybody is supposed to be instantly. Again, bit of a mediocre story, in all fairness. Yeah, and what a shock. These are the bad monsters pretending to be the Doctor, and that's it. So then to kind of rub salt into the wounds, they bring back John Ridgway again for a few issues. Echoes of Mongol, and again, I don't know if this story is better because of the massively superior artwork, or if it's better because it's well written. My guess is the artwork. Who wrote this one? Dan Abnett, solid writer, absolutely solid writer. Second, let me just back there. Page 111, I think. There you go. So by this time, Sylvester McCoy had developed his character. Again, he was more like a wandering. They're playing him more like a wandering guy with a TARDIS, like walking into trouble. What kind of a fun little story about things being recorded in physical world. So this is the FHD, Foreign Hazard Duty. This was an attempt to try and build up some continuity. This is very, very contemporary at the time because it's very Aliens, So it really felt right? It really felt cool. And I think they did bring them back for a few things. So basically, this phase of Doctor, it's kind of this rudderless phase of Doctor Who comics. Comes to a conclusion with the first story and the next connection, Nemesis of the Daleks. And then it kind of develops into what a reflection of the TV show. And then after about a year, it develops into a reflection of the New Adventures and everything, which is the much more adult-orientated or student-orientated. That, I think, is the most defining era of Sylvester McCoy's comics. So this one, not a bad story. But I think probably because it's got great artwork, again, don't know what to tell me. Look at this, it's so good. I mean, the drama in it, I love the lighting, I love the acting, the expressions. They really, yeah, he's really selling it, and you can tell he's more expensive, right? You can tell that John Woodward is obviously more expensive because he's higher quality. Yeah, so they basically work out the problem, what these echoes are, and they sort it out. But basically, this is the Doctor with the soldiers from Aliens, which we see again. We do see again, as I recall. Next story is another weird one which defies imagination. It's so strange. So the Doctor arrives. He has his. Oh yeah, first time we saw him having his question mark umbrella was by Planet the Dead. So he arrives and he gets caught in a tidal wave and then loses his TARDIS and gets picked up by these natives who want to eat him. Turns out that they're all about to die and this is their last feast. So he's like, well, why don't you just make a boat and escape? And he's like, what's a boat? so he convinces them, one guy to make a raft with him. As you know, there's certain death comes, and they go off on the raft, and everybody else dies horribly. I think, right? Yeah, all his friends, the whole civilization dies. He finds his TARDIS. He gives him his last piece of food, and Doctor goes off, and this guy's left floating in an ocean with nothing. Right? It's he's going to die. It's just this story makes no sense, right? No sense whatsoever. This is kind of a stupid story. The Doctor is chasing the meddling monk on a place where there's a Vogt Sinatra. Clearly, that's meant to be some kind of Reaganist character, right? This Vogt Sinatra thing clearly meant to be some kind of Reaganist character. So yeah, the Sleaze brothers. I think this is another thing from wider Marvel where they have to they're chasing the meddling monk's TARDIS through and just causing death and destruction wherever they go. Until the end, yeah, this is just a pointless, weird, stupid story. I think that's the best way to describe it. Pointless, weird, stupid story. Is it so? Vadis on Gantak. This one's also makes no sense. This is the final story in the collection. So this guy is a tramp living in the underground. So first I see people living in the underground and think, oh, we're going to get any Yeti? We're going to get any Cybermen? No. What we get are really generic, bland, bad aliens that have invaded Earth in the early 90s and have subjugated everybody. And it's like, wait, there's like, what? No, it doesn't. This makes no sense. No, I mean, like, how we have a world-changing alien invasion in the mid-90s that's met by really shit aliens. I mean, that's really the best way. That really shit aliens. I will say, and the quality artwork is not professional on this one. Yes, he's doing the artwork on it. This is fanzine level quality. Like about the time this was coming out is a time I lived in London, and I went to the Fitzroy Tavern. I was doing my own comic stuff a little bit. Wasn't far off the quality of this. So this is by Alan Grant, which is strange because he's a seasoned professional. Martin Griffiths and Can Smith are on the art. Yeah. so okay. So we got this. Let me go back to this thing. Where is it? Yeah. So we got these bad, these really uninspiring aliens. The Doctor's on his way to give somebody a birthday present of a fluffy rodent of some kind, who then grows into a massive one when attacked by the aliens. But again, yeah, look, the quality art is, in my opinion, not publishable, not professional. Yeah, look, they need to save money. And then so the Doctor gets captured, and because he buys the tramp breakfast, even though the world's ending, the tramp goes and tries to save him. Yeah, and it's basically the entirety of the story. And the tramp saves him, and then they find out that these are bad people who are working for this big blobby, like, unconvincing monster. I don't even know what they want, right? But there's one panel there which looks like Peter Davison. It had long hair, like, and I didn't really understand what's going on. So then the Doctor has to save the guy who saved him. and they go and they take on the monster, and I can't even remember. And I read this yesterday, and I hated it when I was reading it. It's not very good. Okay, this is a really not very good story. What is good though is the commentary, which I freaking adore. This always knocks it out of the park. Going through each story, telling you what's going on with them, giving a bit of background. And by the way, here, this whole keepsake story had a great cover, but I think this is by John Higgins. I'm pretty sure this cover is by John Higgins, because Seth McCoy did a bunch of publicity things, and they use them, right? They use them. Although this looks like it's for Greatest Show in the Galaxy to me. So I'm really a bit. Oh yeah, look at that! The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. It says it right above it. So that's where that came from. Talked about Lee Sullivan coming into Doctor Who magazine. It gives you a very, very good overview of everything, right? It's look, these packages are fantastic. They absolutely are fantastic. It's funny because I'm also did a review of the Blu-ray season 24, and much like that, the actual comic strips are of variable quality. Some bad, some good, right? But variable quality. Same as season 24. The stories are not the best. But just like that Blu-ray set is so great, such a strong recommend. This is a good strong recommend as well. If you're into Doctor Who comics, right? If you're into Doctor Who comics, this is for you. This is for you. I really recommend building up a collection, because it's really, I do enjoy get a nice spectrum of Doctor Who over the years. So there you go, Cold Day in Hell. Not Doctor Who at its best. Still a recommend for me, but that's because I'm a crazy Doctor Who fan. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.